Hello, 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 hello. It's Friday. I'm Barb. And you're at Drama Free Friday. We hope. Hope you're all doing well today. Or as well as possible. Right? Sometimes that's what you can hope for, is to do as well as possible. Hello, Patricia. Nice to see you in the audience. I've discovered something. I'll tell you about my discovery in a minute if I remember. Hi, Terry. Hi, Jean. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Tori. Hey, Lori. Hey, Becky. Been thinking about you. I don't know exactly why, but been thinking about you a lot, Becky. Sending you lots of good vibes. Hi, Dorothy. Catherine. Hello, hello. Doing great in Pennsylvania. That's good. Hi, Joyce. Thank you for reminding me that you're Joyce. You may have to do that 4 or 5 more times. Lena, hi, hello. I saw your message underneath the video. I think it was last week, Lena, but I haven't answered any comments from last week. I know. Miss Lennox is Lena. If you don't follow Lena, you need to follow Lena, okay? I'm just saying, you need to subscribe to her channel and you need to follow her. If you want some eye candy and some inspiration, you need to follow Miss Lennox 2010. Hi, Anne. Yep, you really do. So it's Friday. It's Drama Free Friday. So they say. So they say. I have been, well, first of all, I'm going to have tea. I'm having tea. The cats have catnip. They are back behind door number 1. Yeah, door number 1. And hello, Sherry. Hi, Mary. ITA. Honey, the train of thought, the train of thought regularly jumps the track at the moment. To tell you how much it jumps the track, and then maybe I'll figure out what it was I was going to say a minute ago. I'm telling you people. I'm telling you people. The journey that I'm taking right now is just, makes me a little cray-cray. Anyway, yesterday I had a lunch appointment at 11:30 in the morning, right? I'd had it on my calendar for 2 weeks. I had alerts set on my phone. I knew exactly when it was. I knew exactly where I was going. Everything. Knew the time, the date, the place. Everything. I knew it all. And so yesterday morning, I did my normal routine, which is I got up and I went to my local haunt and I was journaling and having a cup of coffee. That's just sort of my routine, unless something messes with my routine. So I went to do that. Hi, Marion. Hi, Lucinda. So I went to do that, and then I had a pair of shoes that needed to be exchanged. I had bought a pair of shoes, and they didn't work out, and I hadn't worn them outside the house, and so, I could take them back. So I thought, well, it's in the downtown area, which is where my lunch appointment was. And I thought, well, that's fine. I'll just go do that. I'll go do the shoes first and everything's good, right? Because I'm always hesitant to put something off because my energy level kind of tends to run out sometimes and I get too tired and so I quit and I just come home. So I thought, I'll do that, get that done, right? So off I go downtown. I thought, well, that'll take, who knows how long that'll take. Well, it took all of 10 minutes to exchange the shoes. Okay, great. Now what am I going to do for the next 45 minutes? I think, right? And there's a really nice coffee shop right next door to the shoe place. So I thought, well, I'll go in there. I haven't been in there in years, So, and that's a place we used to love to go together. So I thought, I'll just go in there. So I did. And I got my coffee. I sat down. I don't know if it's because it was in a different place. I spaced out. I don't know what happened. Set my timer on my phone. I thought I am good to go. And okay, the appointment was at 11:30. Okay? At 11:38, I suddenly have this, what time is it? Moment. I look at my watch and I am already almost 10 minutes late to be where I'm supposed to be. Something I have thought about, planned for, everything for 2 weeks. Hi, Amalia. Hi, Connie. Hi, Thunder. Good to see you. Hello to everybody. If I missed anybody, please accept my apology. I'm glad you're all here. Yeah, so the brain just periodically just takes there's no other way to say it. It just takes a complete dump. And yesterday was one of those days. So then I'm behind the 8 ball. I was in plenty of time. I was in the downtown area where there was no excuse. I just was sitting there reading a book. And I had clearly set the wrong time on my clock, on my timer on my clock. And I just spaced off into La La Land, I guess. I don't know. Hi, Barbara Clark. You finally found me on YouTube. Hi, Linda. You found me on YouTube? Barbara Clark, how come you're not in blue? You should be in blue. What is that? How come? You can tune it. You can tune your clock out. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't looking at it. Just was not looking at it. Barbara Clark, what do you mean that you finally found me on YouTube? You know where I am on YouTube. Oh, it wasn't showing my stream. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, got ya. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway. So yeah, every once in a while, it's just the train of thought just jumps a track and takes off on its own. It's craziness. Craziness sometimes. Anyway. So yeah, so it's supposed to be Drama-Free Friday. I've been going through stuff. Any of you go through stuff? Well, let me tell you, that's an adventure on a good day. This is not. I mean, this is a good day. I'm doing pretty well today so far. Of course, the day's not over. But I'm doing pretty well today. And so I thought, Lucinda, I can, Lucinda, I can relate. Anyway, so I've been cleaning stuff, and I decided to work on my husband's office. Now, this is supposed to be a bedroom in this house. It's a very small bedroom. I don't think you could get anything in there more than a twin bed shoved up against the wall and maybe a chest of drawers. There is a closet that's pretty big in the room, but it is one tiny room. But it was big enough for him for his office, and he liked it. Hey, Tam. Hi, Mary. Hi, Gail. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Exactly. Hi, Angie. That's right, Barbara. Don't want to miss that. So, hi, Debbie. So I'm working in this office space that he has used this office space for over 30 years in this house. It's not a big place, not a big room, but I'm going to tell you, I'm getting to know my husband in after he passed away far more than I knew him in life, and I knew him pretty well. After almost 50 years together, I knew him pretty well. And I had no idea how much that man liked flashlights. And I have only found the tiniest fraction of the flashlights that I'm sure I'm going to find. He had flashlights of every size, shape, kind, and description. And so at this point, I'm following the Dee Dee Willingham example for organization. And that is putting like things together. And so I've picked a spot. So every time I run across a flashlight, it goes over in this spot. And I'll figure out what to do with all these flashlights at some point. But I cannot conceive of why anyone needs that many flashlights. If I put a flashlight in every drawer in this house that I've found so far, there would still be flashlights left over. I don't even have an idea of how many batteries I would have to supply all these flashlights. I have enormous flashlights for construction. I have little tiny I have a head flashlight. I have pin flashlights that go in your pocket. Flashlights that have magnets on the end. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And Beck, I am discovering that he has staplers too. So far, there are 2 in that office that I've found so far, 2 staplers. But I know that there are at least 5 more staplers around this house. At least. I'm telling you. Okay, that was only the flashlights. He also had an apparent love affair with magnets. Earth magnets, rare earth magnets, regular magnets, craft store magnets. I sound like Forrest Gump, don't I? Scott's roaring in the background. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Marcia. With Danny, it's pins. Yeah. Okay, so he had magnets. He has this 4-drawer file cabinet in there that fortunately a few years ago I had convinced him to let me go through and toss a bunch of stuff. Now, we're not talking about my stuff yet. I'm a whole other story, and I admit that. But so we had tossed a bunch of old back files that he spent days shredding. But we still had, there's a metric ton of crap in this file cabinet, which I have gone completely through and gotten down to like 3 files of things that are decent. Which, by the way, I'm sure you don't know this about him, but he was a poet. I may have told you that before, but he loved to write poetry. He could write poetry like I just write in my journal. It just flowed out of him. Now, it was all rhyming, 4 lines to a stanza or 4 lines to a verse kind of poetry, but he was so quick to do it. I ran across one of his journals in the process of cleaning out a lot of this stuff. It was a journal from September of 2019. And as I was reading through it, he would be writing about how he felt and what was going on and, just a few lines each day. And then all of a sudden he'd just go into a poem. I'm like, what? I didn't know he was doing that. I had no idea. There's an entire file in his file cabinet of his poetry. So someday, if you guys want to listen to some of his poems, I'll read you some of his poems. It is a thick file folder. That apparently, too, was how he dealt with a lot of stress. He wrote poetry. Anyway, so back to the magnets. So I am just gathering all the magnets together and putting them in one spot on the top of his file cabinet. And the pile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's one that's like this big around with a hole in the middle. It looks like a giant washer on steroids. I have no idea what you do with a magnet that size, what it's for. little tiny like BB kinds of magnets, the big red rare earth magnets, the little tiny rare earth magnets. I'm sure I haven't found them all. Like, what magnet? Okay, so far we have magnets and we have flashlights, and then I started finding the ruler collection. We have plastic rulers, metal rulers, some metal rulers that are a ½ inch wide, some that are an inch wide, some that are 6 inches, 12 inches, 18 inches. This is just the straight rulers. We have the ones that are the old slide rulers. There's several of those that I've found so far. You know, there's those triangle shaped rulers that I have no idea how you read them. They're completely useless to me. Protractors. He apparently really liked protractors too. When I got him started doing mandalas a few years ago, I guess that when he couldn't find a protractor or a ruler, he'd go buy another one. Is the only thing I can think of. I have no idea. I have no idea. And the tapes, the retractable construction tapes, I haven't even started on those. It is incredible. It is incredible. I could do an assemblage. Yeah, an assemblage of, I could build a house right now with the flashlights. I could hold it together with magnets, and it would be lit with flashlights. And I could make sure everything was square from all the tapes, the triangles, the protractors. I could find angles. I could probably build a house. Anyway. I'm just looking at the chat. There's in case you're not reading the chat and you're watching this later, which by the way, thanks for watching. It seems to be true confession has erupted in the chat about the things that everybody now feel compelled to to confess that they collect. That is pretty funny. Yeah, Janet Young collects rulers, but I think Clausman could have given her a run for her money. She would be so happy with Clausman. I think it's fair to say. That he might have had an addiction to these three things. Anyway, people. So anyway, I've been going through, and it is clear that he was struggling with his thought process, that he'd been struggling with his thought process for a while. And I was way too busy trying to just keep all the plates spinning, you know. You know how it is. You go, the plates are on the pole, and you got to go make sure they keep spinning. You got to go over here and do this. And I was way too busy doing that to really lock into what was going on. So anyway, I'm discovering all kinds of things and how much... Anyway, it's quite an adventure in there. It's quite an adventure. Any hoot, one of the things that I unearthed in there is something I made for him, and I thought you guys might enjoy seeing it. You might be inspired by this thing. I have no idea if you can come up with anything like this. I'm going to see which camera I've got that's going to show it the best. Let's see. You're going to get a shot of my desk, which is pretty... I'll show you the whole thing, and then I'll zoom in here in a minute. So this is the thing that I made for him, and I was looking for a date, and there's probably a date on it someplace, but I don't see it. I usually usually I'm pretty good about putting dates on things. It's probably hidden somewhere. Anyway, so I thought I would show it to you. Now we're talking about the favorite things. So Scott's favorite stapler is an Ace Liner Executive. So there you go, you guys. If you need a good stapler, that's the one that Scott says is his favorite. And Mary says the rulers arranged flat like a puzzle would be interesting. It probably would. Oh, Scott wrote the last two comments. Aha! Scott has commandeered Becky's chat. So anyway, I did this for him several years ago, and I just thought I would show it to you, give you the overview, and I don't even know how many years ago, quite a while. But it's sort of like a scrapbook-esque kind of thing. And so I thought I would show you too. I bought it at Hobby Lobby, and it was just the wooden, raw wood, half a boat. I don't know what people do with a half a boat, but this is this is what I did with it. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to see if I can show it to you. For some reason, my camera is not focusing very well up there. I don't know why. I'm just looking at so the focus is not great on that camera. Anyway, I think you'll still get the idea. What I did was I took pictures and I made color copies of all the pictures. So none of these are the photographs. These are all color copies. And so up here at the top, I'm going to see if I can get it over here where you can see. This is Race when he was little. This is one of the grandchildren. He's now in his 30s, sitting on Race's shoulders. And this is the same kid, except he's now in his 30s. This is Clausman with my granddaughter. Some of you have known my granddaughter that just had the baby. This is when my granddaughter was a baby. There's a lot of tissue paper. This is all collaged on. So there's stuff that fills in the blank spots and stamping. I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I made this, but I just made it. This was a simple daily prayer for the heart can inspire you to seek God's constant favor, power, and protection. Anyway, it goes on, and then I had a picture of a hand on that. This is another grandson who's also in his 30s now. Inspiration for your heart is what that says. Again, this is Race, one of the grandkids. There's another one. So they're sitting, but I put them so it looks like they're laying down. This is our granddaughter, who now has a baby. This is Clausman in his younger years with one of the grandchildren. This is one of those. There are two grandsons and a granddaughter. This is he was wearing a sweatshirt that was our son's from high school. Okay, let's see if we can come back up here. This is on the other side. I'm just trying to get it where you can see the top. Okay, this is our wedding photo. This is a wedding dress that I made. We were married in the 70s, and so this is one of those cotton homespun, kind of a muslin lino weave sort of dress that I designed and wore. I'm carrying a fan with flowers on the fan. You can't see it. The fan was my sister's from her wedding, and she let me use it. Okay, this is kind of a funny story. Let me find the thing. Yes, so she let me use this fan to that I could put the fabric over it, cover it, and have flowers and stuff put on it. Her wedding fabric was still on it, and I mean, the minute that wedding was over, man, she wanted that thing back. Like, guess she thought, I don't know. She says, take your fabric off of it and send it back to me. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So anyway, so you're now going to see what I used to look like. This is me, and Claus Man, me, and Claus Man. So now you get the idea of how much I've aged. So these are us. One year I decided, same thing, this is when we were doing some fancy something or other, I don't remember. We were keynote speakers for something. One year I decided to do something crazy for him. I was a piano major in college, and we were motorcyclists. This is one of our motorcycles down here. We're dressed in our leathers and going for a motorcycle. This is me, and this is me right here. And so I posed and had a photographer take pictures of me in my black leather overalls, and I did my makeup like some, hooker, and posed at the piano and gave those pictures to him one year. I posed with a pink feather boa and gave those pictures to him one year for Christmas. Okay. He about had a cow. He could not believe that I did that. Telling you, hi, Julie Topaz. I know I've missed all kinds of chat because I'm not paying attention here. Let me catch up for a minute. Yeah, Claus Man and Race look a lot alike. And they're, as Race is aged and Claus Man in his younger years, they really look a lot alike. Hi, Sherry. I know, right, Dar? Hi, Tracy. So anyway, I know. So there you go. You get to see the less sophisticated side of Barb. Okay, so let's go back to we'll start at the bottom shelf here so you can see, I hope. So I did the same thing inside the shelves. So all of these are, I even dusted it and it still has dust in it. It's just a collage of family pictures. I don't even remember where I took the pictures, and I think I just took a bunch of snapshots, took them to an office supply place and put them on their copiers and copied all the pictures is what I think I did, because this is paper, not photographs. And I probably did it with Mod Podge because I didn't know about matte medium back in this point in time. And so this was our dog Bo when he was a puppy, and he was like 10 or 11 weeks old. And this is our little granddaughter Christy, and she was scared to death of him. He was a little puppy. She was recoiling in fear, and he was just this tiny little puppy going, "Oh, I love you, I love you." One of the things Claus Man did was he was a scuba diver, so this is when he's in scuba gear back here. There's a lot of tissue paper in here to fill gaps. This is one of my favorite pictures. You probably can't see it very well, but that's one of my favorite pictures of Claus Man. He was probably about 40 or so there. And there's another pose from the same time frame here. There's the picture. You can see it a little bit better. He was an avid fisherman for a long time, and so you can see him catching fish. And this was when this puppy that I showed you got bigger, and he was Claus Man's constant friend. And so that's that shelf, and each one of the shelves has stuff stamped all over it. And I didn't know about stamping on tissue paper, so I stamped on the actual thing. He did, Gail. He did. So these are all grandchildren. This is the granddaughter that just had the baby, and this is another brother. And these, what I wanted to show you about this needs to be repaired a little bit. But this is fun foam, 1/8" fun foam, because you can cut it real easily. And so I glued, because these were just paper pictures, I glued the pictures onto this 1/8" foam, fun foam, and then I could easily cut them out with scissors. So to give anything dimension in here and to kind of outline it a little bit, that's what I did. I don't know how I knew to do that, and so there's Clausman with one of the grandkids sitting on his tummy. There's Clausman in the background when he's out in the woods. He loved to be out in the woods. There's a wine cork. He made wine at one point. Deadly dangerous for me, but he made wine. But it functions as a place to, put things, as well as a memory keeper for him. And he loved that. Okay, let's see if I can get in here a little bit closer. He and Race went up north into Canada, which was quite a drive from here, and went fishing a couple of times. So here's Race when he was in high school holding a couple of fish that he caught. Just looking to see. A lot of what's up in here is going to be really hard to see. Maybe I can show it to you in this other camera better. Let's try it this way. This is going to be better for this one. The stuff that's hanging up in here are fishing lures. So these are all of these that have this white outline. That's all the pictures the paper pictures that I put on that fun foam and cut out. So it's flat in the background, and then with the elevated, dimensional pictures. This was one of Race's first fishing trips with his daddy. So he's probably 3. Here was another one of their first fishing trips right here. I love this picture with his little bucket hat on. And Clausman has a thermos and a cooler, so they were ready for their day. There's another, sorry, I'm trying to get this where you can see it. Another stringer of fish. Clausman's holding fish. So just various poses. And this was right here. This was Race when he was a little bitty guy. Again, on that foam to pop it out. And these are all pictures of Race here. And fish. I don't think you can see it, but that's Race with a whole big mess of fish that they'd caught. I think he caught all those. And then on this side, I was trying to get it where you can see it. I put mirror tiles up in the very top. So there's mirror tiles up in there to help give it some reflective quality and some light. And these are, do it this way. These are his grandparents, Clausman's grandparents, that he lived with the first 3 years of his life. Without them, he would have been an absolute mess. And this is Race on his first motorcycle. We were big motorcycle people for a long time. This is Race on a motorcycle that he built and painted. He restored it and painted it. And then he was in a parade and he was dressed like Superman. He was a very handsome Superman, too, if I might add. I have no idea what this has to do with anything. So anyway, and this is really one hard thing to show you. These are all images of that puppy when he grew up. There's Clausman on his motorcycle. And this is Clausman with another dog we had. His name was John Boy. He was a boxer. And more pictures of the grandkids as they were growing. So anyway, that is that is this shadow box sort of thing. And then the different things that I put in it. This is just a picture of the dog, Bo. That was his companion. So that went on a shelf. See if I can get it up here where you can see a little bit more. So Bo lives up there. And Clausman gets his name because he's a wood carver. And so this is half a peach pit. And then he carved a little tiny duck head, made a duck, like a miniature decoy out of it. And let's see. And because he liked to go scuba diving, he went to the Cayman Islands, and I think that they gave this to him at the place they stayed or something. It's a very cheesy bracelet. Anyway, he brought that. That was important to him, so he kept that in here. It was interesting to see what things he added. Hi, Shu. It's just interesting to see what things he added over time. Let's see, what else? And then this is an Edsel. And they, Race had an Edsel for quite a while. It wasn't a convertible, but, you know, we had the Edsel miniature car. This was a piece of a geode. And I'm sorry about the graininess of the image. I don't know if it's as grainy for you as it is for me. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I put this in it just because of his love of being on the water, and I'm not fond of being on the water, but he loved it, so he liked scuba diving, so it was good. Good. Somebody gave him this little carved bear, brought it back to him from a trip someplace. He liked to collect these smashed pennies. I have a couple of them, yeah. He liked to find these penny machines where you could put in a penny and then it would smash it and roll it out, and it would emboss it with something. Usually it was an advertisement from wherever you were. This one says shark on it. So he liked those. He had a few of those that he stuck in there. These are little tiny monkeys that he carved from peach pits. I don't know how he did that. No idea. You can see it, Gail? Okay. The peach pit duck is adorable, isn't it? But those are pretty funny little monkeys. He carved a whole bunch of those at one point and gave them away to people. But, I mean, I like the monkeys, but this is my favorite. I love the duck, the decoy. Then one year as a gag, I gave him Fishing for Dummies. That was in his stocking, Christmas stocking one year, like he didn't know how to fish. Fishing for Dummies. This is the Prayer of Jabez. He liked that, so I got him the miniature book. A little golden retriever, because we often had golden retrievers. We had several of them. Let's see if I can get out a little bit more so you can see a little bit more. So he lives down there. And this, I don't remember the story of why the seashells. I don't know if he did that. If I did it, I don't know what. And then this is a fly, and I don't remember if he made this fly. He probably did, because he was an avid fly tyer also. And so that lives, it's just a little cluster. And then up at the top, I don't know if you can see very well, but at the top, this is cheesecloth, dyed cheesecloth that I put up here. And then he added different flies and pieces of fishing things that were important to him. Some of them he tied, some of them were just things that he used, like this kind of spinner. He liked that, and he used those all the time, and he thought you couldn't catch fish unless you used that kind of spinner when you were doing that kind of fishing. But he did a lot of fly tying, so that's what's hanging up here, and plus whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not the fish person. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about the water that much. I'm not a great swimmer. So anyway, there is you can see the top of it a little bit better. I love this fly. It's a dragonfly. I know he tied that one. I haven't even gotten to the flies that he tied. I'm going to run into boxes of those. Boxes and boxes. Anyway, yeah. So I just thought you might enjoy seeing that. I don't know if you can still get these with the half boats like that. Maybe you can order them online or something. But it took a long time, and I managed to do it without him knowing that I was doing it. But I just thought it might be something that might inspire you to do something for somebody else. I don't know. It took a long time, and I loved doing it. And once I got all the stuff on it, then I antiqued it with something. I have no idea what. I have no idea. It's been years and years and years ago that I did that. And so as I ran across it and I was cleaning it and reminiscing and crying, and that was a mess. But I kind of got my act together, and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy seeing that. So, hi Tracy. I did put a lot of work into it. Let's see, I'm just going to catch up on the chat. Yeah, lots and lots of stories. Lots of memories. Indeed. It was good. It was a good thing. So I think probably Race will enjoy inheriting that. Race better get a big house. That's what I'm telling you. They have a nice house, but I can tell you it's not nearly big enough for the amount of stuff that I'm collecting and putting aside for him. That is a fact. Anyway, my energy level is still on the down side of being okay. And so I need my journal. My current journal has one more 2-page open place spread, whatever you want to call it. I don't call it spreads because I don't use it as a spread. And so I need to cover another one. So I thought that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this journal. So it won't take too long. I'm just looking at my choices here. Then I'll switch you down to the table so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I'll give you guys a choice. I can't make the choice. I'll let you help me decide. My favorite thing to cover these journals with, and I always cover them because, it's a long story. It doesn't really matter. I just always cover them because I like it. We'll just say that, because I like it. I'm glad you enjoyed seeing that. I always cover them, and my favorite thing to cover them with is the rice papers. Hello, PM Artist Studio, and who else? Hi, Purple Nana. Hi, Annette. I'm just trying to catch people to see if there's anybody I missed. Anyway. Got some new colors of stencil butter. I don't even know what stencil butter is, Dorothy. Hey, Lisa. Okay, so which one do you like? Doesn't matter. I'm going to eventually use both of them, but I'm going to let you guys choose. Which one do you think I should have? Hi, Angie. She likes the one with the birds. We've got Angie Brown and Angie Bassett. 2 Angies. Love the floral. Are you calling this one the floral? It's either birds or, we're going to say birds or butterflies. That way I'll know which one you're talking about. Butterflies, butterflies, birds, butterflies. You guys are no help. You're going to go right down the middle. You're going to go right down the middle. I can see it happening. Butterflies, butterflies. Whew, 86,000 steps or 8,600 steps. Whatever it is, you walked a lot, Annette. So, the butterflies. I know, no help at all. Eeny meeny. Hi, Janice. Hi, Missy Lulu. All right, we're going with butterflies. We're going with butterflies because that seems to be kind of the consensus. We will do the other one. My next journal, I'll use this one because I think it's beautiful too. Anyway, I like to cover them with rice paper. It's easy. I've used all different kinds of things over time to cover them, but the rice paper is my favorite. Napkins work well too, but I like the rice paper the best. So we're just going to glue this on here. I thought maybe I would do jelly plate stuff today, but I honestly just don't have it. I just don't have it. And I have twittered away about absolutely nothing for the last 46 minutes. Gotta talk while the energy holds up. Okay, so I just put, these are Moleskine Journals. This is my favorite journal. It's taken me years to get the right journal for me. Literally years of journaling. I originally started out with composition notebooks. That was my very favorite thing to use. I loved working in those, writing in those, doing stuff. But it was a cumbersome, it was a big thing, you know. And I have a whole big old stack of those full of journaling. And I always covered them too, because I like to have the covers be different. Because I know what's in it based on the cover, you know, or at least have some idea. So I try to make them always pretty the way I like them. So I started out with that, with the composition notebooks I used for a long time. Then I found the Moleskine composition notebooks, and I tried those, and I really liked those for a long time. But they're big, you know, the pages are big. And to fill 2 pages, which is my typical amount of journaling on a given day, and it's like I got to write till it's filled up. I don't know why it's a thing, you know. And then at some point, it was like I've got to do something different, and I found these journals. And this is it's about 5 by 8. It's the Traveler's Notebook kind of size of Moleskine. And I like the ones, hi Cheryl. I like the one that is lined. You have to be real careful that you get the kind that you like. Because there is a plain paper. I don't like that one because it's too hard to write on. They have a grid, like a graph paper sort of paper. That one's okay because you can line things up on it. That one's okay for me. I still like the lined paper, and I'll come back to it most of the time. And I don't know if they have a dot grid or not. I don't remember. Usually for dot grids, I will use the Leuchtturm or whatever the name of it is. Anyway, so, and it took me a really long time to develop the way that I like to journal. And I finally figured that out. This is the glue stick I like to use. The Elmer's Extreme. I order these. I don't know if they're still making them. I order them from Amazon, and I order them by the, I don't know what it was, 12 or 24. And I really like the Elmer's Extreme. Used to be able to get them easily in Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Everybody, Walmart, everybody carried them. And then I don't know what happened. There must have been something hazardous in it. So they had to sell them on Amazon. I don't know. Doesn't make any difference. Don't care, right? Don't care. So this is my favorite way to do it. I've done it with Matte Medium. I've done it with Mod Podge. I've done it with all kinds of stuff. And this will not hold like scrapbook paper or of course it won't hold cardstock, but it will not hold scrapbook paper. You have to do something different for that. But it holds napkins and rice paper beautifully on these journals. The trick is to get it straight to begin with. That's not too bad, except it's crooked. So anyway, the thing that I found that works the best is glue stick. And sometimes I can get it the first time. And sometimes not. Sometimes it takes a fat minute. Alright, that's good enough. And the glue stick at some point grabs and then you're toast. And it's just about to that place right here where it's just about toast. So at some point, you just, if you got wrinkles in it, you just live with it. Absolutely live with it. Do you like this bracelet? Yeah. That was the last Christmas gift that Clausman bought for me. And I wasn't able to wear it for a long time for reasons that you guys don't want to know about. You can trust me on that. You didn't not want to know why I couldn't wear it. I'll just leave that to your imagination. Anyway, I can wear it now. Yeah. Okay. So it's on there. Oftentimes I have to go back and re-glue the edges, and I don't worry about that at this point. Just don't worry about that. And I'm sure that there's 100 million different ways to do this stuff, and ways that some people go, oh, I can't believe she does that way. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Does not matter, does it? We all do things the way we do them. Okay. If you're real bright, which clearly I'm not at this moment, you will cut this off with a straight edge and a rotary cutter, or a straight edge and a X-Acto knife, X-Acto blade, or whatever you like to use. And you'll cut it nice and straight to start with, rather than wait till you get into the project like this and then try to cut it off freehand. Okay, then I'm going to come around this side. It does take quite a bit of glue stick, and I usually give myself a mark about where it's going to land so I know how far to put the glue stick, because there's no point in doing more than you have to use at this point. But you do want to use plenty of glue stick, especially along that spine. And you know, there are times that I don't do a good job and it'll bubble and carry on, and I'm like, ugh. It really annoys me. And then eventually I forget about it and it doesn't annoy me anymore. And I go, okay. Listen, you just have to figure out what's important and what getting annoyed about, whether it's going to serve you or not. Because there's a lot of things that can really annoy you in the short term that don't make any difference in the long term. None. And I'm going to tell you that is the gospel according to Barb. Yep. The gospel according to Barb. If I have learned anything in this last year, it is perspective. I'm not sure I'll remember it, but I'm going to try to. So I'm just trying to get this spine area. This is always going to be wrinkly, but I'm just trying to make sure that it's really glued on there. Okay, so far so good. And then sometimes you glue your wax paper to the thing and you go, well, I wish I hadn't done that. Okay, so I need the rest of the paper to finish covering this, so I am going to do the best I can. Sometimes I do it better than others. To cut off this paper. Now, when you have a directional piece of rice paper, which some of them are obviously very directional, this doesn't work so well. But this kind of print, it doesn't matter a whole lot. So I'm just going to stick my wax paper back in here to protect the pages of the book as best I can. And then I'm going to decide if I'm going to go this way or if I'm going to go this way. I think that's the way I want. So I'm going to get rid of the border. So time changed here. I don't know where all else it changed, but it changed here where I live. And I'm doing fairly well with the time change. So that's good. I personally hope that they do away with the time change, but you know, whatever happens, I'm sure it'll be a big hullabaloo before anything gets done, one way or the other. But the spring time change is the harder time change for me. That losing an hour of sleep is hard to adjust to. It really is for me. I understand the reason that they used to have it, and I do understand, you know, some of the concerns about it. But okay, so this is going to have to, this is like, it's going to be okay. Almost. Just almost. It's just almost. What doesn't, you know, there's a sliver of the notebook hanging out up there, and there's going to be a sliver of white down here. And guess what's going to take care of that? You guys know what's going to take care of that? Ink. That's why you put ink around the edges. That will take care of all of that. Okay, so now in a perfect world, what you do is you put this under weight and you let this completely dry. Just reading the chat. Cutting a straight line is a challenge, isn't it? That's why a ruler and a rotary cutter help a lot. The rice paper is hard to cut in a straight line. Anyway, ideally you put this under weight and you know, leave the wax paper in the pages, and you put it under weight and wait till it totally dries. Instead, I'm going to tempt fate, and I'm going to cut this and get glue on my scissors, but that I can take care of. And then I use these, there's always this little strip that's really nice, and so I use that on, I'll just put that, I'll cut that in half or in pieces of some kind, and I'll just go in here and I'll just pick a page and I'll put it on the page, and I'll pick another one, put it on the page. And it'll only be 2 or 3 pages where I'll have that. And then when I come to those pages when it's time to journal, it's just always like, it's kind of like APG Jamie. If you listen to her on her channel, she'll go, oh! And that's exactly what it feels like when I find those. Hi, Ellie. It's all of a sudden, you know, it's just like, oh, good, I have a head start. Because I always do, I put in, again, it's taken me years to come to this method of journaling that works, and will it work the rest of my life? I don't know. It does for me now, and I've used it this way for a long time. I always start with putting in pictures of some kind. I have the little HP Sprocket personal printer, and so I do a lot of screenshots. I do a lot of pictures of the cats. When I was in the office cleaning today, I had empty plastic file boxes that, I don't know why I have so many of those, but I have a ton of those. So I'm using those because everything is so bloomin' heavy. Paper is heavy. Magazines are heavy. And all this stuff has to be carried up a flight of stairs to get it out of the house. Anyway, listen to me moan and carry on. I told my friend last night, I said, I need to be able to sing the Little Red Hen Song. Because there are just a lot of times that is exactly what I feel like, the Little Red Hen. Because woe is me, there is no one here to help me. There is no one here to tote that barge and lift that bale and hold the other end of the whatever. I can feel so sorry for myself. I'm telling you what. Anyway, so I was down there working, loading up these plastic file boxes because they're smaller. So I have a system. I can load up the plastic file box, haul it up, take it to the garage, transfer the stuff to a trash bag. I have a dolly in the garage, so I can load the trash bags onto the dolly and haul them out to the street. So, see? Necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? So anyway, cats were down there with me today, and I look over and, well, actually I heard a noise first. Just a minute, I can't talk and do this. I hear this noise like something fell on the floor. I look over and I'll show you what I saw. This is what I heard. So here's the plastic file box. This is one full of crap, and this one's full of crap, except it's a cat. So he jumps in there. Can you see him? That's Chance. So he plopped himself in there, and he's talking to Charlie. I don't know if you can see that. And then this is my leg, and this is underneath the desk. So they moved over there. But they have to be right in the middle. They have to be right in the middle of what I'm doing. Have to. But the empty box, there is a rule. There is a rule in the kingdom of cats, and it is no box that is empty shall be left untested by, it must be tested by cat butt, you know. Goodness, they're crazy. So they were down there helping me, because that's what they have to do. They have to help. Yeah. They are funny animals. I'll be right back. I have a sanding sponge, which is what I use most of the time, but it's in a different part of the house, so we're going to have to see which one of these nail files will work. Oh, one with kitties on it. My body is finally starting to work a little bit better. I'm not in as much discomfort as I was. I am very grateful for that. Because I'll tell you what, I have been in physical recovery for since the end of December. And so my body is finally not feeling like I'm going to die of ache. Ugh. Anyway, listen to me. I told you, Little Red Hen syndrome. Look at this cute file. This is a local hardware store. Anyway, so what I do is, normally this is dry, but we're going to pretend. And this is probably going to drive you guys crazy to listen to. So I'm telling you, if this bothers you, if this noise bothers you, you need to mute me and not listen, because this is an obnoxious sound to a lot of people. Okay? You're warned. So I take this at an angle and then file this on the edge. A sanding sponge makes really fast work of this. The nail file makes it takes a little bit longer. And if this is really dry, then the cover of the notebook is nice and rigid. Where right now it's got moisture from the glue stick, so it's a little bit floppy. Anyway, this kind of blends the edge of the paper. You can do this same technique with composition notebooks too. You definitely never want to go the other way though. You don't want to go backwards. You only want to pull down at an angle. And that will kind of feather that edge and blend it down into the cover of the notebook. Some people think this is just a ridiculous thing to do. Look at this garp on my fingers. That's glue stick, and this is called glue stick and paper pulp. Some glue stick that didn't stick right there. When you get, see, there's, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bubble. You probably can't see it. Hopefully, when I put it under weight in a few minutes, there will be enough glue there that it will stick it down. If not, there's just going to be a bubble there, and you just got to live with it. You can get to the edges. You can stick down edges. But you can't, it's real hard to get glue into the middle of the paper. Anyway, so that gives it a really nice edge. I don't know if you can see that. It'll shed for a little while, and then it'll stop, but it gives it a really nice edge on there. Okay, so then what I do is I pick a color of archival ink. Usually it's cobalt blue. I don't know why, but that's just kind of my go-to color. And this piece of cut and dry, whatever it is about toast. So we're going to get a new one. I don't know if this stuff is still available, but I love cut and dry foam. And clearly, clearly this has been smashed up against something. You shouldn't do, can you see that? See that? This is not good, okay? So I clearly had it smashed up against something. Hopefully it only wrecked those two pieces, but that's what you get for not paying attention. Anyway, so this is going to be a new piece of this. It gets to a point where it starts shedding, and then you have little bits of foam everywhere, and that's really nasty because they have ink on them. Anyway, so it works really nicely for then the edging. And when you file the paper edge, it just gives it a nice place to take the ink. That feathered surface gives it a nice place to take the ink. Get it up here. You don't have to be quite that close, do you? But you see how it does the ink? It's kind of like a makeup sponge, but it's a different material. It's kind of like that, but I mean, a makeup sponge would work fine too. I just happen to like these because they're square, and so it doesn't take much room. I like the makeup sponges for paint, but I like this better for ink. Then the other thing I do is I generally put some kind of sticker. There's a kind of sticker that Hobby Lobby carries. I don't know the brand of it, but they're inspirational stickers, and they have them for different occasions. And they're gold. I think they're gold, maybe gold and black. And I like those a lot for putting on the front cover because it irritates me to try to guess what's the front. And if I put a sticker or a photo or something on the front cover, then it's really easy to always know, what's the front. I don't always ink the edges of the paper. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I prefer using archival ink because it's permanent. It dries really fast. Comes in lots of colors. And Bob's your uncle, or as Race would say, Robert's your mother's brother. There is my journal ready to use. Okay, so that is that. Other than putting a sticker on the front. So what I do with these is I just have a little bowl, and that holds all of my archival things, and then I always label it as best I can. I'll see if it'll let me label. Because sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. Okay, Barbara Clark says, do you put dates on the outside of these books? I do. Yeah, I do. Oh, but no, let me rephrase that. I don't put dates on the outside. I put the dates inside the cover. But what I do for the most part is I will write, like for this year, I'll write one of, how did I do that? When I was all finished with the year, let me get it and show you. Now I don't know what I do. How's that for dingbat? Sorry, I took off on you for a minute. Okay. We'll see what I do. Okay, so this is 2021. And so this was 10. There were 10 volumes. So what I did up here is I wrote on each one, I put 2021, and this was number 10. That's what I do. Or what I did for 2021. It can be different every year. This is 2021 number 2. Clearly they're not exactly ordered. And then in here is where I put the dates, April 23rd to May 29th. There's one of Becky's little relatives. See, Becky McCauley. I have more of her artwork in here. I have a lot of artwork from Happy Mail, and Becky did that. Sent me that card. If the cards fit, these are my favorite pictures of Claus Man. These two. This is this was later. This was this summer. When the light was going out. There's another one that Becky did. I put a butterfly on his head. Anyway, so that's what I do. I write, I'll put the number of the journal. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And then I'm forever sticking crap in here too. That is nothing. But something will have notes on it, like this had notes on it of some kind that was important, so I just stuck it here. Anyway, that's what I do. And then just in an effort to keep them together, then I just rubber banded them together. Okay, so let's see if we can find something for the cover of this. See if I can find my stickers. My stickers are getting down to the end. Okay, these are the ones I was talking about. These Inspirational Phrases and Celebrate Life. So let's see what we can find. Let's find a Celebrate Life one. See, I've used so many of them. Here we go. We'll use this one. Sometimes it's just so blatantly obvious what it should be. Nothing is worth more than this day. It's the only one you have. But see, then that way I know immediately this is the front of this journal, and I can still see what's in the background, and then it works out really well. And most of the time I will do something on the inside covers. It varies, like, you know, sometimes these were mudras for anxiety. Those really work, by the way. This was from a card or something, I think. It's just random stuff, you know, random. Entirely random. These are more of those same stickers, but I put matte medium over the top of them. They're all bubbled, and it's kind of a mess. Clearly, I didn't have time to do much in that one. This is all of this is those stickers. And I used it so much that they're bubbled up because I, you know, kept bending the covers. This is a piece of Barbara Clark's art. I took it from one of her cards and put it in here. And then just a sticker. This was the day Clausman got his footed cane. He was very happy about that. He spent most of his time carrying it instead of using it. More stickers. When I don't have time to do much, I'll just take those stickers from those 2 packs I just showed you, and I'll just put them inside the cover. This one I didn't even get a sticker on. And this poor rice paper, it started out much more intense in color, but I just had carried it around so much that it wore off all the color. This was something that Race did. That was on the flat rate box, so I peeled it off and used it. Stickers. I just like having something on the inside cover, and sometimes I do a lot, sometimes I don't do much. That was from a sticker that Amber sent me. She sent me a whole bunch of those. And these were, Becky did these. Yeah, Becky did these. And so I put those on my journal. There's another piece of Becky art. Becky sent me so many things last year. And those were butterflies that I did. Anyway, that's what I do. Is anybody ever going to care about all this and the rest of them? Probably not. Does not matter. I needed to do it. Doesn't matter if anybody else cares about it. Makes no difference to me. It is what keeps me from blowing up. When Barb blows up, it is ugly. So it is what I do to keep myself sane. It is also how I find out what my brain is thinking about, because you would think that is so obvious that you would know what you're thinking about. I don't always know that, but when I start writing, I find out. Yep. I'll show you a couple of other journals. So once we have this all done, thank you for helping me with that, by the way. I'm so happy to have that done. Again, things that I found when I was going through stuff. These were some journals that I made, some books, more appropriately, some books that I made for Clausman. This is just, I didn't even do a good job of it, but those are rings. That was when I was learning to use what was that thing? It's so dusty, the poor thing. The Zetter bookbinding tool. And so this is like not nearly enough rings, but it holds it together. It does the job. It's okay. I'm sorry I'm not reading the chat very well. Hi, Peg. If I miss saying hi to any of you, I apologize. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it's the Zetter. Yeah, it is Zetter. I am kind of off in my own world at the moment. So anyway, I made this little book for him, and I don't know when I made it. Let's see. Gratitude book, made May 5th, 2012 by Barb. So this is the book, and I think I used the back of, you know, like watercolor paper tablets or something. This is paste paper. You see that? That's paste paper. One of my favorite things to do. This is paste paper. Leftover stuff on the background. This is scrapbook paper. This was my favorite scrapbook. I'm not a great scrapbook paper collector, but this was my favorite pad. Artie Dar sent me a pad of that, and I had a pad of it too. And I have made that last and last and last. This is just paste paper. These are just pieces of washi tape, and that I must have put ink on top of, because they don't come that color. I don't know what I did. It's too long ago. Washi tape. And these are either paste papers or leftover paint on here or something. And then these are his things he was grateful for. It was just kind of fun to look through here and see what I did. A lot of it's just scraps and washi tape. And probably just washes of acrylic paint on the papers. It's interesting to go through and see what it was that, you know, what he was thinking at the time. Some of this is magazine. It's just trash. It's just trash glued in here. Bits and pieces and labels, magazines, but I left room on each page so he could write on it. It's really good to, you know, see his handwriting. There, I'm going to tell you, there is nothing. I would give up so many things that, you know, that I have that are associated with him, but I would never give up his handwriting, you know. It's going to be hard for me to part with things like his daily notebooks where he was keeping track of things on jobs that he did, just because it's in his handwriting. I don't know if anybody else is like that or not, but that is the most valuable thing to me, is handwriting. I feel the same way about my mother. I got her journaling when she was 90, and I have 2 journals that she wrote, and that are absolutely invaluable to me. It's always fun to see, you know, this must be where he stopped. That's what it was. I was going to say, why did he have this in here? That's why, because this is where he stopped. Yeah, that's as far as he got to. So he had marked it with this card. This is, again, paste paint. I know what I did. I did paste paper. That's what it's all coming back to me now. As Clausman would say, it's all coming back to me now like a skunk on a windy hill. That's one of his favorite sayings. It's all coming back to me now. This is paste paper. And this is here, what's paste paint, and that I textured. This part back in here, all the rest of these, this is just painting it on with a brush and putting a piece of parchment paper on it, and that's what creates the texture. See, it's all coming back now. 2012, that was 10 years ago when I did this. Can you believe I even remembered that? Of course, it's been, I found this like 3 days ago. It's taken that long for it to come back. So, anyway, fun to see. These pages are worthless. When you stick all this crap on here, you can't write on that. You'd have to put a piece of paper on top of it. This is the paste paint. This is another piece of that scrapbook paper from the same pad as this one. One of you probably knows what that pad is. And then, there we go. And there's the back cover. There's the front cover, the back cover. He did pretty well. He did pretty well writing in that. He got pretty far before he quit. This is another one that I did for him. It was called the Book of Intentions. I did this on one of the New Year's streamathons. I don't know, 2014. I did the New Year's streamathon. And at that point, it was on Ustream. It's since, because Ustream is no longer, it's now on YouTube. And I did this, created this little book called Book of Intentions. It's all done from file folders, manila file folders. And this was, the concept of this was, with these pockets, you could pull the pocket out, and so each one was dated, the tag was dated, and then you could write your intentions for the month. Okay, I'll show you. So this was his. I made them for quite a few people that year. And this was mine, Book of Intentions. So this was mine. Again, I'm really terrible about sticking junk in my journals. I don't know why I do that, but I do. But what I did in mine was I put in different quotes. And I started out making them nice and fancy, and then, writing my intentions for the month on the tags. And I started out making the quotes all nice and fancy, cutting them in, gluing them in and all that. And then I quickly abandoned that and just started writing them in handwriting. So this one's full of quotes as well as intentions. It's an awfully busy background, but it's okay. I don't mind. I didn't mind it. So this is the same exact thing as this one. And I think I did mine all the way through. Yeah, I think. We'll find out. September has intentions on it. We'll find out. Did November? Yep. And let's see, did December? It did. So, in between the pages, then there are places to, there's just, you could use it as a scrapbook kind of thing, or a collection kind of thing as well. And I still write quotes in this. When I find a new quote that I really like, I'll write it in this, or I'll write it in this one, which is leftover junk from a different book. See, more stuff stuck in. But that's what this is all about. This is just, see? All kinds of just little junky things. I was really into playing Angry Birds on my phone, so I found Angry Bird stickers at Walmart. This was when I got this new little die to make envelopes, so I made those envelopes and stuck in here. Angry Birds. Some of them are magazine papers. This was a bought envelope. I think that was, I don't remember what that was from. Some little ephemera pack. So I still grab these, and there's still room to put lots of quotes. But I love quotes and, any kind of thing like that. So anyway, this was the one that I gave to him because I thought, well, it was, not too fancy, and he'd have plenty of places to write in it, and I think he abandoned it. And I got through March. I made one for Race. I don't think he ever did his. Yeah, so he made it through March, and that was as far as he went. But that's okay. Again, his handwriting and his, what it does, the writing, when somebody writes like that, and with him also with his poetry, it gives you insight into where they are. what they're thinking, what they're doing. Anyway, if you're a member of How to Get Creative, this is all stepped out for you on the website. So anyway, those are some things. I don't feel like I've done anything today, and it's an hour and a half of nothingness. I'll show you the piece that I was working on last week. It's made a little progress. Yeah, because of recipes. Yep, same thing with my mom. So this is the piece that we were working on, or I was working on last week, and so I did a little bit more on it while I was watching TV. And so this is where I started, and so I've added some black here and there, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do, if I'm just going to go from here and go straight into colored pencils or what. This is a heavy watercolor paper, so I could actually use watercolor on top of it, and I may do that. I may do watercolor washes in the various sections and then go back with pencils. I don't know. And this serves no purpose, by the way. It probably will, I think it'll fit in a number 10 business size envelope, I think. But, to go on the front of a card, I just did it because I just did it, Not everything you do has to have a purpose. That's a surprise to a lot of people, because if I get asked once, I get asked a lot, online and otherwise, well, what are you going to do with that? And my standard answer is, I don't know, and I don't care. And I'm not saying that to be flippant. It just is the truth of the matter. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The creation of a thing is never the point for me. It's like writing in a book. That is not the point. Seeing how many journals I can fill up, or how many pages I can write, or how much garbage I can say. And some of the time it is just blatant garbage that I write. That's not what the point is. The point is, for me, the fulfillment is in the creation process, the creative process. That is the fulfillment for me. I don't have to have a purpose at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these rubber bands off these journals that I've carefully put back on, and I'm just going to put those on top of the new journal. So the new journal's on the bottom. I'm just going to stack those all up like that, and that way it can dry and hopefully finish drying up and make it nice and flat. So that's that. All right, any questions from anybody? Exactly, Ellie. Exactly. I don't know how many of the rest of you are like that. I mean, some people have to, it has to have a purpose. It drives them. They can't it's like the act of creation is must have an end game, must have an end goal. I think you just need to create for the sake of creating. And if it ends up having a purpose, well, that's just an added bonus, right? Hi, Starla. You like the black and white? Okay, I don't see anything. You get to spend time with me. It's true. And I get to spend time with you. And I really appreciate you guys being here so much, keeping me company. I'm glad that I didn't break down once today, so maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. It is weird, the things that will go into my soul and flip the scab off. And I'm telling you, it is random. It can be the most from out in left field triggers and it's just the way it is. So I made it. I'm counting this successful because I made it for an hour and 40 minutes without crying today. Can I get a high five or an amen, Barb? Anyway. All right. Now if I can find my mouse. There it is. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. My intention... Oh, next week I have an appointment at 11 o'clock in the morning that is about 30 minutes away from here. So I will do my best to get back, but I can't make any guarantees. So next week I may be late streaming. I hope to stream once I get back. So anyway, thank you for all the amens and well done me. Thank you. So thank you, Tink. Wait a minute, it didn't show, so I got whoops, wrong thing. The powers, oh, somebody else got it. I was going to say the powers that be wouldn't let that you show all your hands. Thank you all. Hi, Skinny Cat. I hope I said hello to most everybody that came in. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me and doing absolutely not much of anything. And keeping me company. In case you can't tell, I don't get to talk to anybody a whole lot. And so sometimes I will be just this blubbering chatterbox. And that's just because there ain't anybody to talk to right now. Well, the cats and the dog, but, you know, they don't talk so much. They don't respond so well. And so it's nice to have somebody to talk to. So thank you for listening. And I will see you hopefully next week. It may be later than 2 o'clock Eastern. I don't know yet. But I will stream at some point next Friday in the afternoon. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great week. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. I'm gradually getting my sea legs back under me so that I can start getting more things done on how to get creative. And thank you for your patience. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. And that I'm going to have to stop now because I'm going to break my good record of being okay through this stream. Hi, Noeet. Hi, Liz. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.